The startup world is filled with all manner of intentionally misspelled non-words. But the names actually mean something, right? The stories of how some of the world's biggest brands and technologies came up with their names open a window to a different era. Here, I present the hidden and occasionally accidental histories behind some of the biggest brands. Bluetooth. Like most normal people, you probably haven't invested too much of your valuable time thinking of how did the name come. As it turns out, the wireless technology's name has nothing to do with being blue or tooth-like in appearance. Harald Bluetooth was a Viking king of Denmark between 958 and 970. King Harald was famous for uniting parts of Denmark and Norway into one nation and converting the Danes to Christianity. So, what does a Viking king have to do with wireless communication? He was a uniter. In mid-1990s, the wireless communication field needs some uniting. Numerous corporations were developing competing non-compatible standards. Many people saw this growing fragmentation as a drawback to the wireless technologies. One such person was Jim Carter, an Intel engineer working on wireless technologies. So he took a role of a cross-corporate mediator dedicated to bringing various companies together to develop an industry-wide standard for low-power, short-range radio connectivity. At the time, Carter had been reading the book about Vikings that featured the reign of Harald, whom he viewed as an ideal symbol for bringing competing parties together. The name Bluetooth was borrowed from the 10th century second king of Denmark, King Harald Bluetooth, who was famous for uniting Scandinavia just as we intended to unite the PC and cellular industries with a short-range wireless link. Various interested parties eventually came together to form the Bluetooth Special Interest Group, which developed the agreed upon standard that we know today. Bluetooth was just a temporary name, but the name has already become famous with the help of media. So, even the logo of Bluetooth is actually the initials of Harald Bluetooth, written in the Scandinavian runes. Google. We all use it. We use the awesome power of Google to correct our common misspellings, but unfortunately, this spelling correction wizardry was unavailable to the site's founders in 1990s. The actual name was Google, which is a mathematical term that represents the number 10 power 100. The founder Larry Page decided that it would be the perfect name for his new company as it reflected the nearly unimaginable vastness of the web. However, the 2O Google that we are familiar with today is the result of an accidental misspelling in the class notes. eBay. The nearly 20-year-old site was born in a technological era where E was accepted prefix to indicate to all things related to electronics. But as it turns out, eBay's E stands for Echo and its Bay just stands for itself. And neither Echo nor Bay has nothing to do with online bidding. The site that would become eBay can be more aptly called as Auction Web, which was just a part of large personal site run by the former Apple software engineer Perry Omidyar. As Auction Web grew in popularity, Omidyar decided to spin it off into its own entity, which he wanted to call EchoBay. After consulting this firm, EchoBay Technology Group, unfortunately, the echobay.com domain was already taken, so Omidyar shortened it to the available ebay.com. Sometimes success means settling for what's available. The next is Amazon.com. It is the global superstore that places everything from diapers to electronics in a single click away from decreasing your credit card balance. But what does the name Amazon have to do with the site's original expanded mission as an electronics manufacturer? Bezos wants to bring you all the things. Founder Jeff Bezos had actually named this company as Cadabra, just like Abracadabra. But when his lawyer misheard the name as cadaver, which means dead person, Bezos decided his company needed a new friendly name. Back in the pre-Google world, a company's position near the front of alphabetized phone books was still a chief concern. It would be better if the name starts with the letter A. So, Bezos went through the dictionary's first page in the search of likely business name and eventually settled on Amazon because it referred to the biggest river in the world. An arrow connecting the first letter A in the Amazon to the letter Z indicates driving home the point that the store delivers everything from A to Z. Even though these terms were selected accidentally, we have been living with them from the past decade. However, they have been unimpressible miss of a language.